90.3 Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. 10 minutes gone past 3 p.m. And you're welcome to the show. It's today's edition of Hard Facts. What day is it? It's hard to remember these days. It's a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday edition, 27th day of the month of April, and it's wild out there. It's a tough world. You know, many times I come on the show and I say it's tough being a Nigerian, and especially a Nigerian living in Nigeria. It gets tougher every day. It's tougher even now than it was yesterday, than it was last week, than it was last month, than it was last year. But we keep the conversation going because it is crucial, it is critical, it is important to changing the narrative. And yes, we can. We can change the narrative. We can change the headlines in the dailies. We can change our story. We can shape a totally different future from that which this trajectory obviously is leading us to right now, which is cataclysmic doom. No doubt about that. It's inevitable, actually. It's not nuclear physics. You don't have to be a prophet or a doom for that matter. You definitely don't have to be Einstein to figure this one out. No, you don't. But emphasis on, and I do believe this strongly, and that's not nuclear physics either, that we can change the narrative. We just need to get some things right, and maybe we'll look at some of that on today's edition of the show. But I've had, in spite of everything, I hope you've had a good enough day today, and things are looking up. Once again, in spite of all that we're having to deal with at the moment as a people, as a nation, and sincerest, deepest condolences once again to all the men and women of the armed forces, security personnel in the country, and who no doubt are grieving right now. I urge you to think and ponder on the development of the last several days, or even several couple of weeks as well. And let's remember that this is not a time to turn on one another. This is not a time to turn on each other. This is not a time to get angry at the next Nigerian. No, because all of this senseless anger and injustice is also greatly contributory to where we are today. So, to security agents out there, it's a tough time to be security personnel, no doubt. It's a tough time to wear that uniform, no doubt about that. But a great deal of Nigerians stand with you. They are with you. They support you at this time. This is not a time to alienate the civilians. This is not a time to want to take out your anger against civilians and deal with those bloody civilians. It is that thinking has contributed largely to where we are today. This is a time for oneness. This is a time for harmony. This is a time for us all to come together. Whether you're in the military, whether you're a civilian, whether you're the police, this is a time for us all to remember that we are one. First and foremost, we are Nigerians. We're human beings. Then we are Nigerians. Before we became, before we joined the police, or we joined the military, or we joined customs, or immigration, or NSCDC, or whatever else it is. Let's remember that. Let's remember that. Very important. Let's remember that. You're welcome once again. A few matters on the agenda today. From now to about 7, we keep the conversation going, as is the practice. Thanks for joining once again. Let's see. I've got today's side comments and a rant coming up. Yesterday I did not do that. There were no side comments yesterday. There was no rant yesterday, as I felt it was significant for us to offer some support to members of our armed forces, military and paramilitary organizations, and let them know that we are with them. We stand with them at this trying time. I'd like to appreciate, I know for some it was tough to do, but I do appreciate those who were able to do so, and really they put their hearts to it. And yeah, so that happened yesterday. But today I do have a side comment, and I do have a rant coming up today. So I'll take your thoughts and mine, the rant that is, till 4 o'clock, as I do not take thoughts on side comments unless I state otherwise, but especially I very likely will do so during today's open session segment, which comes up after the major news at 6 p.m. So that takes us to 4. 4, we've got the business news coming up. And after that, let's see what else is on the agenda. Oh, yeah, a couple of discussions on the show today. And it's very important, very critical that we talk about the security situation we are dealing with right now. So I've got a question, or questions in my mind, actually. We'll be discussing resolving the security crisis in Nigeria. What is at the root cause? What is at the root of the security crisis that we're dealing with in the country right now, and how do we fix it? What are the remote and immediate causes? What's led to where we are right now? Some of the reasons may not be far-fetched, but sometimes, or many times, it's good to speak with experts on the subject matter who might be able to shed some light on how we got to where we are, which is very important, because in fixing the problem, you first have to be able to identify the problem. Else, you're simply running around in circles. So I'll be speaking with security expert Leslie George, who will be my guest, to join me via phone from Lagos, as we discuss the root cause of the security crisis we're dealing with, and what we need to be doing to fix it. Yes, we do. That takes us from 4 to 5 p.m. after the business news. 5, we've got the news update coming up, and after that, reports that there are host communities of the Port Harcourt International Airport, Omagua, have concerns regarding development and other issues around the airport, the international airport. I'll be having representatives of the host community with me in the 5 o'clock hour. Comrade Benes Madukwe and Honorable Chamberlain Woji are going to be my guest in the 5 o'clock hour as we discuss those concerns. Headlines 5:30, major news at 6 p.m. and open season is up after that. And discussions continue till about 7 when we wrap it up. The sports gang will be in by 7 with extra time. So let's get the boat rolling right now with today's side comments. Once again, random stories, random thoughts I came across, which will not be discussed at this time. Security has been beefed up around police stations in Rivers State. One lane of the roads leading to some police stations in the state have also been blocked. The road leading to the State Police Command headquarters at Moscow Road still remains blocked. Our correspondent reports that drivers along the east-west road said they were forced to use one lane of the road this morning around the Chobart police station axis of the road. It followed the killing of some security personnel in Ishiopo and Abua Odua local government area. And I know that it's not very convenient for civilians, for everyone, citizens right now going about legal responsibilities or business, but we have to understand that we are in very difficult times at this moment. We need to understand that certain stringent security measures will be taken, at least for the short term or short foreseeable term, to guard against any other attacks against either security personnel or civilians for that matter. And we have to understand and bear with the situation at least for a while. But also, as I mentioned a while ago, very important that security personnel also, in dealing with civilians, deal with them responsibly, professionally as well. They're not your enemies, you know. Nigerians are not the enemy. Yes, we have some criminal elements amongst us, but the vast majority of Nigerians are not your enemy. That civilian you're maltreating could be the difference between even saving a security operative's life. Because if people have access to information and they feel at one with security operatives or personnel, you are better disposed to even get an intelligence report that will help to prevent even some of these criminal activities taking place, not just in Rivers State, but all over the country, really. We have to change that narrative of treating Nigerians, treating citizens, civilians as the enemy, as people that should be oppressed, as people that should be dealt with, as people that should be robbed, that should be extorted. We have to change that mindset. We have to change that narrative. It's tough right now being a security personnel, but once again, the citizens are not the enemy. They're not your enemy. Treat them well. Treat them well. Treat them professionally. Treat them with respect, and they will reciprocate. They will reciprocate. It's natural human behavior. Also, what else I came across earlier today? Members of the Rivers State Local Government Elections Tribunal were inaugurated on Monday following their appointment by the Chief Judge of the state, Justice Adedayo Lami Kanra. And so if anybody's got any questions or concerns regarding the conduct of the last local government elections or the recently held local government elections in Rivers State, do take advantage of this. For all those who are shouting, we will not take it, we will not take it, now is the time to present your case as to why you did not want to take it. All right, so go before them. Even if you have concerns regarding whether or not, or as to whether or not you will get justice, make the effort still. Go before, present your case. Present a valid case, because we will not take it, we will not take it. It's not a valid case for anything. You know, there has to be a reason for we will not take it, and then you have to present you know, evidence, show cause as to why you did not want to take it. Alright, so for all those once again who have issues regarding the last elections, make your presentations before the local government elections tribunal, and I'd like to believe that justice will be served. Let's see, what else caught my attention today on the news? Oh, the Nigeria Customs Service said it has buried 3 of its officers killed by gunmen in Amagua, according to Islamic Rights. A spokesperson for Zone C Customs Federal Operations Unit, Jerry Atta, said that the 3 officers were buried on Sunday at the Tipper Garage Cemetery in Eleme, Rivers State. And, well, may the Lord grant the repose of those who were killed, and grant the family and friends the grace, strength, and fortitude to bear the incredible, unbelievable loss indeed. Of course, talked about security being beefed up across different formations in the states and across the country as well. That's not to be understandable. Let's not be too shocked or too alarmed by that. I'd like to imagine it's a natural response to when incidents like this happen. We shouldn't be too concerned by what may become a heavy presence of security personnel on our roads, on our streets, on our highways. It's a natural thing, and they're there to ensure the safety of everyone, civilians as well as security personnel. Let's all work together. We're all in this together, and that's the truth. It's sad and unfortunate that for so long a time we never saw it that way, but we're all in this together. And it's sad, it's unfortunate, but there's no way we could have continued the way that we were and not end up here. And if we don't change our mindset, if we don't change our thinking, sadly, unfortunately, it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. But that doesn't have to be the narrative. That does not have to be the case. We can change it. We definitely can. Enough sad news already. I mean, all through yesterday, today, the news is riddled with lots of sad stories. Hopefully that narrative will change soon, and I mean very soon. Hopefully, but I probably heard about the students from the that private university, Greenfield. You probably heard about, you know, other of the 3 students from the Federal University of Agriculture. Some figures say there might be more than 3. You probably heard all of that already. So anyways, Nigeria is expecting about 29.8 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. ED, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib disclosed this at the weekly media briefing of the COVID-19 Presidential Steering Committee in Abuja. He added that the vaccine deliveries through the COVAX facility were expected by the end of May or early June. So some things are still working. That's good to know. If you haven't got vaccinated yet, do make an effort to do so. Stay healthy, stay safe, protect yourself, protect others as well. Okay. I think I'd like to leave aside my reminder to the River CP for the moment at least, and to the River State Governor as well. There are things that we need to do if we want to create a different future for us, for ourselves in River State and by extension in Nigeria as well. One of those things is we must pay premium attention to education. We must pay premium. Literacy does wonders. We must pay premium attention to education, especially at the basic level. We can do a lot more than what we're doing in River State currently. We definitely can. If we want a future, and not too distant future, by the way, of a largely educated populace that's even easier to govern and more disposed to building than destroying. TV adverts can help. Some show of force can help right now. We can declare the curfews we want. We can station military. We can build as many military barracks as we want. But we have to also build capacity of citizens. We have to educate the citizens. We have to make them understand, give them a world's eye view, a broader perspective of life. Education does that. Education does that. Alright, so I think that's going to be it for side comments today. I'll go on a break. When I return, today's round comes up. Please stay with us.
Keeping up with political issues and developments around you, only on Nigeria Info.
Are you running late and can't make it down to our Rumorsi office to book your commercials? Don't worry, because you can take advantage of our marketing office inside Port Harcourt to book your commercials. It is located at Shop 9 Mediatrix of All Graces Plaza, opposite FIRS Stadium Road, Port Harcourt. You can also call our sales rep on 0817-001-8162. That's 0817-001-8162.
Keeping up with political issues and developments around you, only on Nigeria Info.
And now, Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Dio.
Welcome back. Still Hard Facts to 91.3 Nigeria Info and here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. 29 gone past 3 p.m. I'd like to rant for just a bit. I've got something in my mind. I've expressed some thoughts on it. You're welcome to express your thoughts and mine all the way till 4 p.m. And very, very simply, the essence of my rant this afternoon is to remind Nigerians, every single one, myself inclusive, that we are also responsible for the state of the nation. I know it might be hard for some persons to comprehend or even accept that, but it doesn't matter whether you comprehend or accept it. The fact of the matter is that citizens of a nation or of a state are also responsible for the state of that nation. Yes, as happens in democracies like ours, we do elect persons and there's a transference, if you will, of power, or a transference of responsibility, a submission of sorts to some higher authority to handle and govern the affairs of the people. vis-a-vis processes known as elections, when we, as in our case, elect governors, elect president, elect local government chairman, elect representatives in the legislature, state assemblies, and national assembly, and we repose in them or on them a certain responsibilities to govern our affairs as a people, submitting our quote-unquote sovereignty, if you will, to them. But even though that's the case, you don't expect it to simply just do that and then go to sleep, or consider everything that transpires afterwards as being strictly and entirely the responsibility of those persons who have been voted into office. Even though I do concede that they do have a great responsibility that's been foisted on them. However, when things go wrong, when things go right, not just wrong, when things go right, when those persons act right, and generally speaking things go right, it's not just the persons who are in office who are responsible. The citizens of the state are also responsible for the state of that nation, for the progress that's been achieved, that's been accomplished, because it's a process. Everything is a process, and the people are a part of that process. Whether they know it or not, whether they admit it or not, they are participants in that process. And once again, for emphasis sake, citizens, in this case Nigerians, are also responsible for the state of the nation. And like I said, when things are great, not just elected officials, but also citizens are responsible. Now, inversely, when things go awry, when things go bonkers, when it appears doomsday is nearby or has even arrived, not just elected officials, but I do concede once again they do bear a great responsibility, but not just the elected officials, the citizens also bear responsibility as well. They're also responsible for the state of the nation, whether they know it or not, whether they admit it or not. And you would know this because all through the years, all through time, the concept and of citizenship has been explained, has been discussed, so that the people understand that they have roles to play. You may not occupy the position of president, you may not be governor, you may not be councillor. In fact, nobody in your community or your streets may even call you honorable, whether the real type or the fake one that we have around these days. Nobody may refer to you as honorable, and nobody may plead allegiance to you or tell you that your boys are loyal. But the fact is, as a citizen, you have responsibilities. Everybody has responsibilities. And I've sounded like a broken record over the years, talking about this and repeating a particular quote which has become an all-time favorite of mine, but which aptly captures the responsibility of citizens, even of this great country as well, and how that they are responsible for how things turn out eventually, whether they turn out positively or, as is appearing to be the case in our country, negatively. And if you've listened to me long enough on this station, I have no doubt that you know what quote I'm referring to already. From some guy I consider to be a really smart and wise dude who lived some time ago, who goes by the name Bertolt Brecht. Now, he propounded some concept, I believe I'd like to refer to it as that, as the political illiterate. The political illiterate. Who is the political illiterate? I'd like to go over that quote right now. Quote, "The worst illiterate is the political illiterate. He doesn't hear, doesn't speak, nor participates in the political events." Now, by the way, as I read the quote today, I'll be giving some commentary along the line. I'll start again. The worst illiterate is the political illiterate. He doesn't hear, doesn't speak, nor participates in the political events. Doesn't that sound like a lot of Nigerians? Maybe it even sounds like you. You don't care, I've never voted before, I'm not going to vote. It's not my business. Let them do what they like. Let them do what they want to do. It doesn't concern me. After all, they're going to do what they want anyway. They're going to do anything they want anyway. My vote does not count. Our vote does not count. They're going to do anything they want anyway. Bertolt Brecht said you are a political illiterate. You don't want to take part in the process. You don't care. Because for maybe you consider yourself to be a successful person, a big boy or successful woman, and you can't be concerned as to how the economy turns out or how things play out because you're sorted out already. Well, not me. Bertolt says you are politically illiterate, and he said you're the worst kind of illiterate that there possibly is. Back to the quote, referring to you. He doesn't know the cost of life. The cost of life. Recently, we've all been mourning and regretting the senseless murders, killings of Nigerians across the country. You heard about the students of Greenfield. I think there are 5 who've been killed now. You've heard about the killings, the murders of security operatives here in Rivers State, across the country. You've heard of killings of other persons who have either been kidnapped, abducted, or killed as a result of some other form of banditry. They heard of farmers' clashes, people being killed by their thousands, Boko Haram, mass murders, you name it. So this politically illiterate doesn't know the cost of life, the price of the bean, of the fish, of the flour. Yeah, food. We're talking the other day, inflation has risen to 18% in the country. Food is expensive. I saw something on the news earlier. Yeah, here it is. Some cattle dealers and meat sellers in Port Harcourt say the insecurity in the northern part of the country has caused an increase in price of cattle and beef. Others blame the hike and excess taxation at the borders and appeal to government to come to their aid. So it's not even just the insecurity only, even excess taxation at the borders, which could be a result of government action or inaction as far as taxation is concerned. The price of the fish, of the bean, of the flour, that's of food. Lots of Nigerians hungry out there, can't even feed their families properly. Of the rent. Rent prices sky high right now, shooting literally over the roof. Of the shoes. Can't afford to clothe your children very well these days, can you? You want to buy good clothing for your children, you spend quite a bundle, almost a fortune really, a small fortune to clothe your children well. I mean, for those of you who like quality and maybe who can afford it. Of the rent, of the shoes, and of the medicine, Your child is ill. You're afraid to go to the... You're not afraid for the child's health. You're afraid as to what you will get billed when you go to the hospital. And you go to Papa Unduka down the street. Or you go to some traditional place. Mama Bomboy. And before you know it, the situation festers, it gets worsened. Eventually, you rush that child or that sick person to the hospital. The doctors look at you and say it's too late. We go to our health centers, our war-class health facilities, war-class. Our honorables and excellencies can't go there, but they call them war-class health facilities. And if you want to afford, if you want truly world-class quality health care, you pay through your nose. How many of us can afford that? Back to the quote: of the rent, of the shoes, and of the medicine. You know what? All depends on political decisions. All of these things, not leaving one out. Every single one of these things depends on political decisions, including the current increase in the price of cattle and beef. It all, even that, the price of fish right now, the price of periwinkle, the price of Gary. It all depends. Every single thing depends on political decisions. The political illiterate is so stupid that he is proud and swells his chest saying that he hates politics. The imbecile doesn't know that from his political ignorance is born the prostitute, the abandoned child, and the worst thieves of all, the ones we are contending with right now in the country, the bad politician, honorable, the bad politician, excellency, the bad politician, corrupted and flunky of the national and multinational companies. We are responsible for the state of the nation. You are responsible. I am responsible. Now, it doesn't mean everybody's going to vie for some political office. No. But we must be concerned about what's going on, because once again, it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. Not for anyone, not even for security operatives, as we're seeing right now. You know, the irony is, not even for Honorable or Excellency. Right now, we have governors being attacked in the country directly. The other day, a governor and his convoy was attacked by Boko Haram in the north. A few days ago, a governor in the southeast had his country home attacked. The effrontery. And these are people who are very well protected. But the criminal elements, the bandits, are getting bolder by the day and directly confronting and attacking our honorables and excellencies now. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. If we continue along this trajectory, even for honorables and excellencies, all the armored Lexus, armored Pajeros, armored Pathfinders, armored Range Rovers, armored Mercedes Benzes in the world will not be enough. It will not be enough. All the DSS and the special forces will not be enough at some point. No matter how high the fences are, with electric, whatever at the top, will not be enough. Will not be enough. We have to change the narrative. Something has to give, and the people are responsible for the state of the nation. Maybe for so long we could have afforded, I don't know how we did that, but afforded to be political illiterate. We can't afford that any longer. We can't. Having structure and being on ground is not enough. Gives nobody the skill or the know-how to lead a local government area or lead a state or lead a nation for that matter. We need people with competence, people with capacity, not somebody who will share rice and share oil and t-shirts and face caps and dance and political campaign grounds. And all the person is shouting at you is insults and abuses at the other party. Their party, they are foolish. That party, they are, and you're shouting and screaming, hey, hailing. Hailing. Yes, honorables and excellencies largely have failed this country. They have, no doubt about that. They have. But we have also failed ourselves as a people. We have. Because once again, the citizens are also responsible for the state of the nation. And I hope that from now going forward, we'll take more responsibility and be more concerned as to what happens in our country and demand accountability of our leadership. And I have no doubt in my mind that if the vast majority of us can do this, not everybody will do this, because a lot of people will still want the sycophantic system we have in place right now. But if a lot of Nigerians, a majority, maybe a vast majority will do this, we will change the narrative. On that note, I end my rant. Thanks for listening. Hope I did not bore you. Any thoughts about? Let's hear it. Numbers are the same. Lines are open. We got 0817 923 0002 or 0003. 0817 923 00709. We're live on Twitter at Nigerian for PH. Also live on Facebook at Nigerian for PH. Do drop a comment on those platforms so I get there. Please, brevity should be a watchword. It's a virtue, I believe. Be straight and concise. Straight to the point. All hard fact to welcome.
Dayo, good afternoon. Emeka from over in Imo State.
Hi, go ahead.
Dayo, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. This war is bloody civilian. If you talk Imo State here, even as yesterday, even yesterday night at Douglas, if you see the so-called bloody civilians, what they acted, you can't see a policeman with you from around this way. I have one of my relatives. He's a policeman. He never put on uniform anymore, walking around the Imo State here any longer. We are not safe. And I believe the reason for all this is when I said the other justice. injustice, as much as we continue to do an injustice, I think it is very, I said, a time will come when even the greater against the labor will be overwhelmed. I said it the other time. And the issue on what you said is, I agree with you when you say the masses. Unless you put it by percentage, the masses are part of the problem. 10%, 90% is the constitution of this country. When this constitution, this present constitution was drafted.
You can disagree if you want, and if we want to change the constitution, we can get our elected representatives to do that. But how do we do that if we keep on electing people who are irresponsible and don't care about the general good and only care about themselves and how much they're able to amass and how many houses they're able to buy in Dubai? If that's all the people will keep electing into office, these things they're not going to happen of themselves. So let's assume the constitution is a major problem. A process would lead to an amendment or a change of that constitution. But leaving things to fate and the way they are right now is not going to change the constitution. Hello, you're welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
All right, go ahead.
Hello, Dai.
Hello, good afternoon. You're welcome. Please go on.
Yeah, Dai, good day.
Go ahead.
Thank you for your good work. I want to know the name of the person that had that quote you have been talking about, this political illiterate. What's the name of the person? Then, lastly, I want to ask, how are we going to hold these people accountable? Thank you, Dayo.
His name is Bertolt Brecht, spelled B-E-R-T-O-L-T, Bertolt, B-R-E-R-C-H-T. That's his name, Bertolt Brecht. And the number one way that people can hold their leaders responsible or accountable is elections. That's the number one way. There are other means spelled out in the Constitution, recalls and the likes of it, but the number one way is elections. And even after that as well, there are processes through which you can demand accountability of your leadership. Do we need to start a class on radio as to how you can hold leaders accountable? Maybe we'll do that, I don't know. But you also owe yourself a responsibility as a citizen to also find out, equip yourself with knowledge as to how you can hold your leadership accountable. Because once again, the things that they do or don't do affect you directly also. Hello, you are.
Hello, Mayor. Good evening.
Hello, go ahead.
Okay. Now, one issue I want to say as a concern you around this evening is adherence to the law of the nation, of the land. Is it who you are in the secret? That is who you are. You cannot be, because you are the one that has been elected into, and you do it the way it will suit you, and forget about the law that has been enacted for everyone. It is binding to every Nigerian. Not when you get to there, because you are the one to divide, to share, you do it the way that it suits you. Very often at times you have heard here in our country that elections don't count. People have the heart to go out and vote for the right people. But they have it often at times that these elections don't count. In John 2, chapter 2, verse 5, the mother of Jesus, he told them, whatsoever he tells you to do, do it. That ended up everything. It is not everything will be crying, both in the secret and in the open. Let them adhere to the law that have been laid down, the law of the federation of this our country, Nigeria. You will see everything working as it's supposed to move. Not when you just there do one thing and turn it upside down. God is watching you. It will become issues and issues and issues that the laws have been laid down there. Let them adhere to it. Let them follow it the way it is done, the way it has been laid down. I see everybody living a very peaceful life here in our country. But they won't hear. They will do it the way that it will suit them, so that they will achieve their aims and their objectives. And it will become all these things that are happening today. Innocent people will be dying. So poor men and poor children will just be losing their life for not just reason.
All right, great to have for me as well. Hello, Hard Fact, welcome.
Hello, Dayo.
All right, go ahead.
The election you are talking about that will change the narrative. Is it the one we used to have in this country, or which one? That the people will vote
just like what happened in this local government election. There was a lot of voter participation, but yet we saw thousands of votes. We saw thousands. The ruling party swept the whole thing. Even the opposition, the few opposition parties that participated did not win one. So which election are you talking about that will help us to change the narrative? I don't know the kind of election. I don't know if it is a foreign country or in this country that you are talking about, Dayo. Are you not in this country, Dayo?
So, what is going to help you?
Dayo, are you not in this country?
Hold on. What is going to help you?
The only thing that is going to help us now would have been this: when things are not going well, we have to embark on protest. But if we're embarking on protest for the benefit of everyone in the country, for betterment of the country, law enforcement agencies will open fire and shoot innocent people.
So, what is going to help you?
So there's no way forward now. Assistance now. The whole country is turned upside down.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, Hashfat, welcome. Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon, Tayo.
Yeah, good day. Go on.
Yes, David calling from Yenagua.
Go ahead, David.
I want to talk to Nigerians. Let me say, what I've observed in this country is all about evil agenda. You become a president, you have your own agenda, evil agenda. You become a military officer, evil agenda, police officer, evil agenda. If you become a governor, evil agenda. Nobody have Nigeria agenda in heart. Every region in this country, nobody have Nigeria agenda in heart.
I don't believe that actually. But go ahead, David. Go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead. Make your point.
So all of them have evil agenda, evil agenda, and that's why we are finding ourselves in this mess. I say how Nigeria will come out from this mess. I don't know. I know people are dying every day. How can Nigerian people be hurting Nigeria? Even though me, as poor as I am, there's nothing will make me hurt my fellow Nigerian.
David, there are many other Nigerians. As a matter of fact, I believe that most Nigerians are like you.
The evil agenda in this country is too much.
No, yes, there might be some evil agenda. I'm not disputing that. What I'm saying is that I believe that most Nigerians are like you.
How are we going to come out from this problem now?
It's not the most difficult thing in the world, David. It's not the most difficult thing in the world. We just have to be deliberate about it. We must take an interest in the things that concern us. It's as simple as that. Well, I'm not trying to oversimplify it. I'm not saying that it's going to be handed over to us on a platter of gold, that we're going to tell Honorable and Excellency and say, okay, we want a better country. And the Honorable will just say, oh, are you people serious now? Is that what you want? Okay, take it. Or Excellency will say, oh, I've been mistaken all this while. Sorry for all the errors. Okay, take good governance. Oh, take quality healthcare. Oh, take good education. No, it's not going to happen. I'm not saying be violent either. Please do not resort to violence. We have had too much violence in this country already. If we all would just be concerned and take an interest in what happens in our country, in our state, in our local government area, it will get better. Maybe you want to hear some complex narrative or some complex explanation of how it's going to happen. No, there's nothing complex about it. We all just need to take an interest in our country. Let's see. Do I have comments? I believe I should have some comments via Twitter at Ike0280 Twitter. One of the major problems with our country are Nigerians who don't care where the train is headed simply because they have AC in their cabin. Let me be managing myself. Leave me and politics alone, without understanding that last you go reach everybody. It's inevitable, and that aptly puts it. Dio, you've spoken well, but Nigerians' pant has long been used for rituals. The citizens are irredeemable. That's from Samson. The political illiterate fail to understand that you have to be in the system to be able to make any change you desire. When you don't take part, you can't change anything. People should learn to get involved. Adokia from Opobo Kingdom sent that in. How will we change the current leaders? Will this fraudulent electoral process allow us? Will the gatekeepers allow a change of the constitution and the electoral process? I don't think they will allow that. Even when you protest, won't they deploy state force against the masses? Okay, not everything has to be via protest or anything that will lead to any kind of violence. We do have, as faulty as our democratic process might be, we do have a democratic process. And once again, take an interest in the governance of your nation. Let it start from there. Take an interest in the governance of your nation. If they say we're about 200 million right now, if 50 million Nigerians decide to vote one person, I'm not saying vote a particular person out of office, or if 70 million Nigerians decide to vote out a particular political party from office, you can't change that kind of a mass movement. There's very little that you can do to change that kind of a mass movement. Or if in a state 3 million or 4 million in some states, depends on the population, decide to vote some person or some parties or some people out of office, you can't change that kind of a mass movement. It's almost impossible to do so. Are we going to get it right overnight? No. But are we going to get it right without doing anything and simply saying that there's nothing you can do, nothing you can do? No, it's not going to happen. Maybe they're not called to wrap it up. I don't have time to wrap up.
Good afternoon, Daniel.
All right, go ahead. I really would like to take another call before I wrap it up, but I'm not sure I have the time for that anymore. Hello, you're welcome.
Hello, Daniel.
Hi, you've got a minute. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I'm sorry, Tabari. Daniel,
this is one of the problems.
That narrative is impossible. Because you have a nation where the political party decides and the decision of the political party represents the position of the people. Are you with me?
No, I am not with you. I can never be with you.
You can never be with me.
No, I can't.
And that is why they're asking you, are you not a Nigerian? Are you aware that in our various communities,
if you don't believe in what I'm saying, why are you bothering to call in? I'm curious, really. Why are you so intent?
No.
Why are you so intent? No, there's a message here. If you don't believe the message, and you choose to believe the doom and gloom story, why are you bothering to call in?
Dayo, if you do not want people to deliberate on what you are not telling message, then there is no reason you presenting it to the public discussion. You don't need to present it for public discussion.
What I'm saying is you're so intent on the negative. Now there's a positive story which I'm hoping that a lot of people will get it, but you're so hell bent on the negative, and you're so determined to spread it as well. Why? I'm curious as to why.
Dayo, you know my position, you know my joy. You are in Nigeria. That is my joy. So whether you interpret it up, down, you are a Nigerian, and we will tell you why the truth. We know the problem of this country.
It's Nigeria will work.
Dayo,
it doesn't matter what you believe.
Nigeria cannot work.
Nigeria will work.
Nigeria cannot
Nigeria will work.
Nigeria cannot work.
Nigeria can work, and it will get there faster if folks like yourself are not determined and very much in a hurry to call and spread your negativity. But it's 4 p.m. right now. A break for the business news, after which I'll return. I'll be speaking with security expert Leslie George. He joins me from Lagos, discussing what is at the root cause of our security crisis and what we need to do to get out of it. Please stay tuned.